Hello, good friends, and welcome to another episode of the 10,000 Layups podcast. I'm Kyle Radke. I'm here with Julian Andrews. Julian,
Hey,
what is
Kyle.
up? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was busy. Yeah, good stuff, but very busy. Went to the state fair kickoff, like mini state fair
Oh,
at the
yeah.
fairgrounds. Got some cheese curds as promised. So that was good. But yeah, I don't know. Hanging in there. How you doing?
I didn't have cheese curds this weekend, I'll tell you that. Actually,
So not as
no,
good as me is what I'm hearing.
no,
But yeah.
I take that back. I did have cheese curds this weekend. No, we had a good Memorial Day weekend. We went camping, and I did have cheese curds on Friday. So
Never mind.
on the way up there. So we had equally good weekends. Obviously, thanks to everyone who was served. For us, we had an enjoyable weekend. For other people, they didn't have that opportunity, and that's what Memorial Day is about. So we just want to say, thanks to everyone who served and who's currently serving. Let's get into this week's podcast. First off, thanks to our friends DraftKings. Of course, they're the sponsor of this highly acclaimed podcast. We're almost at the second round. I think one series is complete. The Bucks swept the Heat, which, like, I think I might have said a month ago that maybe the Heat could upset that didn't happen. But yeah, we're starting to see these matchups solidify. Like, tonight is going to be wild. We have we're recording this on a Tuesday, so by the time you listen to this, you'll know the results. But Nuggets Blazers Game 5, that series is at 2-2. Suns Lakers 2-2. Game 5 with no Anthony Davis, likely, it sounds like. But who's going to take the place for Anthony Davis in the lineup? I don't know. You figure that out on your DraftKings lineup. Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use a promo code TBPN when you sign up for your free shot up to $10,000 in total prizes every day. They have these new pool contests. You should go check those out. Free pools every day. Basically, I think you're just entering them and then you get a chance to win. So free is always good, better than not free. Promo code TBPN. Eligibility restrictions apply. DraftKings.com for more details. So boom, thanks to them. Not going to do a spoiler alert here, but we might have another advertiser in about 10 minutes on this podcast.
Ooh.
So it's good. That's good. I don't want to say we're drowning in money right now.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I will say my podcast room, I can't walk around it without stepping on $100 bills.
Huh. Wow.
So
clearly I'm doing something wrong. We gotta talk about the business.
Maybe I didn't do the math right. Maybe, yeah. Julian, there was a report on Sunday there's really no huge Wolves news, obviously, on the court because they're not playing. But there was a report on Sunday in Sunday's Pioneer Press from Charlie Walters, who's been just dropping little scoops for the last 50 years, it seems like. The report, there's buzz now that Kevin Garnett, who is said to be worth more than $200 million, will be heavily involved in the Timberwolves basketball department if he joins franchise investors Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry, if and when they gain control in 2023. The word is Garnett, the ex-Timberwolf, wants the franchise to remain in Minnesota, but Rodriguez wants to move to Seattle, where he played for 7 seasons. I guess, what's your first thought when you read that?
My first thought is, why would Kevin Garnett join the ownership? Why would they let him join the ownership group if there's already a disagreement about where the team lives? And so that's my first. That's my first reaction. And then my second reaction is that it's not just their call. I don't think the league wants to move. I think the league wants to expand. I think the league wants to add teams, and I think Seattle is a perfect expansion candidate. I don't know if you go Seattle and Vegas, right? That's what everybody's saying for the next 2 teams. If you move the Timberwolves, what's the third city? And I think unless you can come up with a really good option for another NBA team, I don't know, maybe Nashville, maybe I don't know. I'm struggling to think of another city, but I don't think the NBA will move the Timberwolves without 2 more cities that they can expand to, because Seattle would definitely be one of those cities. So that's my first reaction, or that's my second reaction. Third, I think it would be good to have KG involved.
Yeah.
I think when they say with the basketball side, though, it scares me a little bit. Just because you're a good player does not necessarily mean you're a good like basketball operations person. So I want a future for the Timberwolves that is not about who you know and nepotism. And that's what it is now. And I want to have a Timberwolves where the most important thing for all the people on the basketball side is that they're good at putting together good teams. So I want Kevin Garnett involved in the team. I'm sure they can figure out a role for him that makes sense. I hope it's not like a GM type thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you want to give him a shot and he's good, great. I'm not saying he couldn't be good. It's just like just because he's KG, I don't want to all of a sudden just give him the reins because we have enough nostalgia over here. Like we need a good team.
Yeah. No, I think those are all right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those like reports, but not really a report. Like, I mean, the big takeaway is like that KG wants to join. You know, like the thing is here, the report says will be heavily involved in the Timberwolves basketball department if he joins. I don't know what that means. I mean, is that basically like they're like, okay, we do need some investors and money, and they're saying, hey, KG, if you invest and you're part of this ownership group, you're going to be a big part of the team here. Okay, that's great. And I think that's the biggest news. It's like you have a group that is willing to bring KG in and give him a relevant role with the organization. The moving thing, I'm kind of like whatever. Like if Alex Rodriguez wants to move the team, like in the main ownership group does, like they're not going to care really what kept like. I mean,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like whatever. You know, of course, KG would want to not have that happen, but at the end of the day, you know, more than anything, it's like this report might be that. I mean, it probably comes from KG's people. You're putting out the PR thing right now that KG doesn't want to move the team. So when you guys read headlines in 2022 that the Wolves are moving, like look back to this headline from KG. Look back to this headline. Like he didn't want to, which I think is fair. Like, but then again, I don't think KG really cares either way. You know, I think he just honestly wants to be loved by the franchise and where they're located. You know, whatever. You know, and then I think one takeaway that maybe not to look too far into because it's 2023 before these guys take over. And like the shelf of a GM or a basketball operations crew in the NBA can be like pretty short lived. And because I think we're already on season 2 or season 3 of this, like where we just finished season 2 of the Gerson Rosas era. And by 2023, we'll have 2 more seasons. So if Gerson Rosas doesn't do a good job, he's going to be fired anyways. And if he is doing a really good job, like he'll probably keep his job. But I just think that it's like not a super encouraging sign, probably for his staff that they're just like, yeah, like KG's going to have a huge role in the basketball ops department when we take over. But we haven't talked to this basketball ops department about that. And, and I know it's 2 years away and like, yeah, it's a long time, but it's still a weird, like thing just to be like, you know, because I'm sure Gerson, like I always think about this when these reports come out about franchises. I'm always wondering what the current people are doing. Like the current people are just like reading this report and being like, oh, that's news to me.
They're finding it out. They're finding it out at the same time we are. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. No. So I mean, keep an eye on that. I don't know what to keep an eye on, but reports like that are little nuggets throughout the off season.
Yeah.
And then the NBA playoffs, you know, we're not going to go too deep into the weeds here. Last week we had the guys from the Thatcher Effect on to talk about the Utah Jazz. That was a good luck charm, I guess, because Utah won again last night and they're up 3-1. Julian, we're like your most intriguing series right now. Where are you at?
I mean, where to begin, dude?
I know.
Like, well, first of all, I was like ready to come on the pod if we were recording like Saturday or whatever and be like, you were right. The Mavs are going to beat the Clippers. I was too high on them. And then the Clippers just totally turned it around. So, I mean, that's pretty intriguing to me. Yeah. Honestly, Mavs Clippers. I am obviously invested in Blazers Nuggets. think that's been a good series. I mean, Suns Lakers has got to kind of be the one though, right?
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, I don't know. Whoever wins that one has a real shot.
Yeah, let's just run through these. Like Utah, Memphis, Utah up 3-1, they'll probably win. Clippers, Dallas, like you're right. Dallas had all the momentum in the world going back home to Dallas, and then they dropped 2 games. The kicker there is like they were up by like 15. I think it was only in the first half of that game. I wasn't able to watch the game, so I was in the woods all weekend. But you know, like that's the thing. Like now it's 2-2, and like you almost got to win game 5. You know, to at least put yourself in a position where you're going to play a game 7. So that's not great. Denver, Portland, 2-2. I mean, the thing is like the Denver, Portland, I feel bad in like the Phoenix Lakers because they play on the same nights and those games start at like 8, like they're back to back or they're like overlapping each other. So I think it's hard for people to watch both games. But I mean, like those series are so fun. And I think both will probably go 7 games. Like in the Western Conference, if 3 of your 4 series go 7 games, that's wonky.
Yeah,
right. That's nuts. On the East, 76ers are going to, well, they lost last night, right? Yeah, they lost. They'll end up winning 4-1. The interesting thing with Philadelphia is, I don't know if you watched this, Julian, they did the hack of Simmons, which
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, which basically like Ben Simmons was trying to look confident, but then he kept missing free throws. And I don't know if it cost the 76ers a game. I mean, their defense down the stretch was bad. But I will say, if I'm a Philadelphia fan, I'm a little concerned about what happens when you're in the second and third round and teams are just going to take Simmons out of the game. And like Doc Rivers probably should have taken Simmons out of the game yesterday, but like it probably says something when you have to take out your second best player in the fourth quarter of a crunch time big game because he can't shoot free throws. If only we would have known these shooting problems with Ben Simmons and he could have had time to improve on them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben Simmons 3-point watch is still going, right?
It's still going. It's not very good.
It's not looking great.
We weren't able to sponsor that section.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean, the Sixers, I think, still look good, but I mean, we knew this was going to be an issue, right? Like,
it certainly was, and they were missing Embiid down the stretch too. So, Knicks and Hawks. I will say, and I'm sorry for all our Knicks fans. I know we have like 6 of them that listen to this podcast. Atlanta's up 3-1, which I did not see coming. And obviously, if the Knicks win the thing is, Julian, I think I've always told you this. After Game 5, one team has to either win 4-1 or one team has to be up 3-2. So if the Knicks come back and win this game, they're down 3-2. It's the same thing if they would have been tied 2-2 and they would have lost Game 5. So that's how you have to look at it. So you know, 3-1, it's a big deficit, but they could come back. Milwaukee swept Miami, and they'll gear up for a matchup against the Nets, who they'll probably beat the Celtics tonight. Also, I'd like to make this point quick. Fans at arenas, stop throwing stuff at players.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
And then last night there was a guy that ran into the court. I mean, what? Like, we didn't attend sporting events for a year, and now we're just
people just like forgotten how to.
I don't know.
Behave. Although I guess if you ask a lot of the players, a lot of this stuff has been going on for a long time. So I don't know if it's like just Twitter, like now we're seeing it, but I mean, that's been around forever. So I don't know what's going on, but fans, calm down. It's crazy. It's like, just let him play.
I know.
I hate it. It's really,
I know.
It's really sad.
I know. I hate seeing like the ESPN thing pop up on my phone and this happened tonight. It's like, stop it. Grow up. Okay. Now let's get to a super exciting part of this podcast. Like we could not be happy about this partnership. You guys know that we like to talk about sports cards. We do it all the time. Some people love it more than others, but that's kind of I will say that's kind of a pillar of this podcast.
Some people love it more than others.
Some people love it more than others.
That's our tagline.
That's the pillar. Yeah. And the some people that like it more than others they're just you and me.
Right.
So I've been working with these guys forever. 3-Star Sports Cards. They're going to sponsor our a sports card section, the card corner. I've praised these guys forever because you go in and during the I've been going there for years, and Julian, you've been there a few times too.
Yep.
Like Eric is just so friendly. It seems like the place is always, whether it's packed or whether you're there during the middle of the day and it's not very busy, like you feel like you get that same attention. And I've gotten a lot of questions from people about, hey, how do you do this? How do you grade? Or how do I know what my cards are valued at? And I try to help as much as I can. But the thing is, when I started going into 3-Stars, I was in that same spot 3 years ago where I didn't quite know, okay, like what cards should I grade and what package should I go with? Or, hey, I want an inexpensive pack right now. What's the most hit potential, or, whatever it is.
Totally.
And they will always answer your question. So if you're in the market, like, they have one in Bloomington, they have one in Little Canada, where Wayne's at, and Wayne's great. And just ask any question you want, and they have all the materials that you want, as far as obviously the cards, and they do breaks on their Facebook page. So really, this is like my long plug for them, and every week I won't go this in depth, but like we are just beyond excited about our partnership with them. And more than anything, I hope that we give people a resource that they can go to for their questions, and they're connected to us. So again, super excited. We couldn't be more excited, and it's kind of been in the works for a while. What does this mean? It means that basically the only difference we're really going to make, or change we're going to make, is we're just going to clip a video and have the card corner just kind of be its own thing apart from the podcast as well, which is good. Pump the brand, baby. Okay, let's get into it. So my product of the week, which I just made that up because we never had like real products of the week. But this is like, I was looking at cards and trends, and right now the market's in a little bit of a dip as far as selling goes. The product that I really like that was released last week, it's 2020-21 Court Kings. You get an autograph and you get a memorabilia card. So you get 2 hits guaranteed. I think I want to say it's only 10 cards total. So it's like $30 a card. But here's the thing, like you're getting an auto, which like middle of the line auto, like, if you're trying to flip and make money, you're looking at $30-$40 maybe, right? Depending on who it is. Their LaMelo cards, their base cards are already going for $80 to $100. So, as far as like money back, it's hard to say where the market's at right now that you're going to get your money back with any product. But this one has just, I don't know if you've seen these designs, Julian, and maybe you and I can go in on a box, but the artwork on these cards is crazy. They do a really nice job. They have numbered cards. It's just a really good visually looking card, which at this point, like after collecting, like obviously like Prism is a fun card, like product to collect. And, there's all these different brands, but like Court Kings has always been my favorite because it's, you buy a box. Yep. Sure. It's only 10 cards, but they're really cool looking cards. And you're like, the fact that you're going to get an auto and a mem in those cards is pretty cool. So, they have them at 3-Stars. You can go to their Bloomington or Little Canada location, or visit 3starssportscards.com. Tell them the Layup or 10,000 Layups podcast sent you. They'll be happy, and they'll know that this is working already. Which we hope it does. We hope it's beneficial for both sides because, again, I've been working with those guys for years, and they have just been so incredibly helpful.
Yeah, it's always fun to go there. We got to go there next weekend or sometime soon.
When I'm in for whatever.
I believe it.
I literally, any excuse I have to go there. I can, I can know that I need top loaders or sleeves. But I know that I have them like down in my basement. But if I run out of them upstairs, I'll just like, oh yeah, we should probably go to 3 stars.
I got a 3-star.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then later this week, we're probably similar to last week, where last week we had the guys from the Utah Jazz. This week, I don't know who we're going to have on, but we'll probably have another TBPN guest on to talk about, whether it's the Nets or Lakers or Clippers, to kind of talk about where they're at. I think next week, depending on where the Sun season at, we'll probably bring Espo back. And
yeah, I was going to say
we'll either be doing a victory lap or
funeral procession.
Yeah, he might be drinking on the podcast, which it wouldn't be the first time. I think our first episode with Haley, she was like 3 glasses of wine deep, which I mean we're all for here. And also we should talk about that, Julian. Haley comes onto the podcast, right? Her podcast is in the works. She can't talk about it, but she just says to keep an eye on it and check it out. And now the Spinsters is like the #1 podcast on iTunes and Spotify. So I'm not going to say we had anything to do with it, but
I think we had a little bit to do with it, Kyle. We're all about claiming others' successes as our own here on the 10,000 Layups podcast, and this is no exception. So
yeah, she did say she'll come back on the podcast whenever, so maybe we'll
we should get her back maybe in the second round.
Yeah, we'll take her up on that. All right, sweet guys. Thanks to DraftKings, thanks to 3 stars. Most importantly, thanks to Julian.
You got it, Kyle.
Yeah. Everybody else, we will talk to you later on this week. Enjoy the weather, enjoy the summer, and we'll talk to you soon.